You say it.
Me say what?
Say it.
Green room.
And we're live.
All right.
In the green room.
In the green room.
For another episode of the B-Sides.
Why don't you just do it? You're already doing it.
We did it together.
Oh. Wonder Twin Towers.
Yeah. But he liked it. But did we finish together? That's the question.
B-sides.
Nobody got my joke. Ha, I did.
Because I talk over you. There we go.
Beer 30. Oh, Nostrovia.
Salud. I got bang the table. That's a thing.
It's a part of the cheers, bro.
It scares the spirits.
I don't know what it does. Just knocking it out. Yo, you just gonna be hitting my table. Like that was intentional, man. That was not tribute. That was trying to break shit. That's messed up.
New at this. I don't know.
Yo, I want to talk about something. I want to talk about something real.
Me too. What do you want to talk about?
The circuits that are in the ground.
Are you just gonna hit the ground running?
Yeah, dude. Because we were kind of talking about that outside, and like,
let's go.
I know, right? Like, dude, tell me, because like,
it's a deep rabbit hole.
I just finished all the videos.
Okay, all right. Cool. So let me catch you up real quick to what I was telling him before we got going. Because with all the different videos that I was watching, like all the different stories from, because I mean they're not videos. It's it's really like TED Talks kind of stuff. It's presentations. So it's these very intellectual individuals, the tops of their fields, or the guys that are or individuals that are like the extreme outliers. So either they're like the most known for everything, or they're just like kind of half cocked, but they're really intelligent about it. It's like that kind of makes sense. So all of these different lectures and presentations going through the different equipment and pieces and all these things, I started kind of like putting together the idea of like Atlantis with the Ark of the Covenant and the way it goes through like Ethiopia and how it comes out and the different stories
Atlantis,
in the Bible.
Like the lost city, Atlantis.
Yeah. Which to me, like, all right, so if the people of Atlantis civilization, regardless of where it's at, right, if they're just this really evolved race of humans that existed, 100 and just because right now the oldest recorded skeletal of a human, like Homo erectus, basically is I think like 130,000 or 150,000 years old or something. It's like ridiculous because here we are at like 1,500 years.
You say human. What do you mean human?
Like Homo sapien, like you and me. So it's our closest related.
Homo sapien, Homo erectus.
Yeah,
Homo
so it's
sapien.
not like Cro-Magnon or something like that. It's more new age man, basically, as we understand. It's because originally we were only thinking that like at best we had like 20,000 years old or something. Like we weren't putting ourselves on the map with like.
I'd say we have some big discrepancies in our history then.
Well, so here's the thing, though, is all that stuff put together is like how I kind of started getting to the point where we, as a civilization now, I would say is still influenced by the idea of Atlantis back then, because there's like tie-ins between the indigenous people of the Americas, like the different tribes, whether it's North or South America, as well as in Egypt and a few other spots, all had these same congruent ideas, technologies, thought processes, like everything. So much so that there was a great consistency on the dates and the timing of it all, that it's like you couldn't have just like one person in all these spots influencing these people unless they had these technologies, or if the idea of like, well, you and I were talking about what like Graham Hancock was talking about, Atlantis could very well be somewhere a part of like the North Americas and it got flooded out. Right? Mm-hmm. Well, so if Atlantis was a part of that and it got flooded out and basically like the civilization was destroyed because it literally wiped all of our technologies out. You know what I mean? It destroyed all these cities. So there is no more technology. However, some of the people.
I'm thinking more Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda, what do you mean?
Well, that's the place where we lost basically a whole generation of mystics. I mean, those people were on a different level, Atlantis. I mean, yes, and there was some high and mightiness, I'm sure, but...
Well, so here's the thing, though, is like, all right, so we as a technology creating civilization of like just the past 1,500 years, think about all the stuff that we've done. Well, we're talking about a civilization that could be possibly like over 100,000 years old.
And more advanced.
Yeah, so like so here's the deal, is like if there are aliens per se, I did air quotes on that, aliens, what if they're actually just us from that civilization that's sent out on these like mass journeys where it's like it takes them 120 years to get there. So they know it's going to be like a couple of generations as they run through it. And we have that technology, or we have like cryo sleep or whatever else. But now here they are coming back to us thinking it's them, their civilization, and they've been pretty much wiped out. Other than the fact of like, all right, so again, you have all these different spots at the same time in the world that are all having these same kind of ideas, and they're building the pyramids or having like, astronomy is like their source of intelligence as far as explaining things. So you have this Atlantis or old technology mental ability, technologies as just ideas. Well, if Atlantis gets wiped out, all right, cool. Well, Atlantis, the city or the whatever is gone.
The way you pronounce it sounds like you're saying Atlantis, like Alanis Morissette.
Atlantis. Does that make you feel better?
Atlantis.
Yeah, I'll at your Atlantis.
It's the location of Atlantis.
It's Atlantis. Atlantis.
Like Atlas. You have to say Atlantis.
Yeah, don't forget to cup the balls.
It actually helps with pronunciation.
Anywho, so if that civilization gets like wiped out, civilization. Yeah, if that civilization gets, you said it. I just said after you. Anyway, so if that civilization gets like wiped out and pretty much all their stuff gets destroyed, however, all of their stuff that's like gone out to space and then is coming back would still be their technology. So that could be like us just returning to what they thought would be that, but it's just been...
Well, and this world would be very alien to you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But at one point, they were talking about the books that they just found that actually aren't in the Bible. It's like Enoch and his son.
Yeah, I have a
Enoch.
copy.
Yeah.
Enoch.
So you do.
Yeah.
I would love to get my hands on that.
Enoch, who's there?
Well, you don't have an Amazon account? I'm sure you can buy it. I mean, you can have my copy, but I don't think it's hard to find.
Do you guys remember when people used to read books?
Yeah. Who does that anymore? Just look it up on the webs, on the internets.
So he mentioned that like in the book of the Bible, it mentions that he gives all of the knowledge and like all of these transcripts to his son, Methuselah. And then when you look in the Bible, Enoch is not spelt the same anytime it's mentioned. And it was intriguing to me because his son is still named Methuselah and that's still spelled correctly, but there's not a lot of mention of him. But I went like this like rabbit hole spiral because I started like Googling Egyptian mythology and like stuff like this, and that all relates to giants and aliens, extraterrestrials.
Wait, Enoch was the great great grandfather of who?
Your mother.
Was it Noah?
Your mother.
I'm not sure, actually. Let me look that up.
It was some kind of weird...
Your mother.
I don't like when you look at me like that. Stop looking at me like that. Stuttering Stanley. Stuttering Stanley.
No, I'm Christian Side Hug.
Stop. This is Christian Side Hug here.
Christian Side Hug. I love animals.
Everything's nice.
Yeah, but so like...
When you look up the Egypt stuff, though, it goes inside with it, too.
What goes inside with what?
Like what you were saying, like everything links up in like different cultures around the same time. But with those books, He also mentioned that anytime any civilization goes to like conquer another, they destroy everything. So we could have potentially, like with that thought or theory in mind, that, you know, they were supposed to be protected by his son. And what if that was one of the cultures that got eradicated and everything was destroyed, including these scriptures that have, or whatever,
it happens
that
every,
have all the technology.
It happens every so many thousands of years when you reach a point where you have so much written knowledge. It reaches a crescendo. I mean, you had the Library of Alexandria, which got almost entirely demolished. It was, what? Twice, yeah. I'm like, what, 2 times?
Double tap.
Yeah, well, it took. I can't even say that. Library at Alexandria.
Civilization.
Civilization. Terrible.
Yeah, so of course, like, all right, so going back to the whole was it the Egyptian thing? So the different gods or names of gods, as they would call it, which I like. Eric von Danick, his idea in the one lecture he was giving, where he basically just wants to take all of the old like Testament stories and stuff. So whether it was in, you know, Christian, Catholicism, you know, Judaism, any of that stuff, like, so like going back to any old document, if you modified some of the translations, so if you took the word angel and or God and changed it to like alien, or, you know,
it seems like so much of his stuff is conjecture, though. That's why I've never. What?
I'm sorry. It was
here's the
heaven
deal.
replaces with space, angel with extraterrestrial, ark with leader, and then instead of like referring to them as God in certain parts, they would refer to them as the splendid of the highest.
Right. And the thing with him, though, and all that is, because it's just as simple as translation, but you said, all right, so there's nothing that links with it. He talks about
the Nephilim.
Well, but he talks about the same thing. They said in Ethiopia, the date of when, you know, Atlantis was destroyed. So even he's on that kind of a thing, where he's talking about this civilization or technology-based civilization, this highly intelligent, capable beings 9,000 years ago, which with the 2,000 on top of where we're at, puts it at around 11,600 years ago.
I'm thinking these people, like, I mean, humanoid looking, but if you remember from The Dark Crystal, like the good puppets.
Right.
You know, the ones with the big hunchbacks, and they were like talk and move real slow. And
yeah, the elders, basically.
Yeah. I think of the whole civilization being like that. Just these wise, you know, peaceful, maybe not so big. I don't know. That's just the way I was thinking about it.
Well, it also talks about all the giants, too.
The giants.
In that time.
Well, just in general, because even, so yeah, there's
an eel. What's an eel again?
Isn't that a slippery creature in the water?
Dude, I have notes from this video.
It was like 3 feet or
I think 3.1.
Or was it 3 meter? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was like a half of a kilometer, and then it ended up in total being like 3 miles or something.
No.
Hold on. I wrote it down.
Miles, dude.
But as far as Noah, he was the great-great-grandson of Enoch. And then it was 3,000 L's tall. So 1 L was 0.5 meters. So in total, it equals 1.5 kilometers, which equals 1 mile.
Yeah,
the entire 3,000. Yeah.
Correct.
That is correct.
God said to Noah, build yourself an arky.
Okay.
When she said Noah, dude, that literally popped in my head and it made me giggle. I had to get that out. I had to let that out. Which, by the way, is like one of my most favorite parts of The Simpsons.
This message was brought to you by
Currently, Deathbound.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, cheers on that.
Well, yeah. No, Imperial Pilsner.
I grabbed
7.5%. Dude, you stole one of my beers, bro. Why you stealing my beer, bro?
I like the idea of an Imperial Pilsner.
I like big butts.
Fancy.
So, when they were talking about the rock structures that ended up making the patterns that you could only see from the aerial views.
Yeah.
And they were showing like how they were linked and stuff like that.
There's like hundreds upon hundreds, thousands.
Yeah. And they were trying to figure out like how they set them up and stuff like that and all their theories behind it. So the video that I had watched on the sound resonance experiment where it has a fault on the plate.
Yeah, I want to do that. You can buy them.
So imagine this, okay? When they were talking in the circuit board talk, he was describing how there's no way they could have moved there. And then with the circuit boards, they were describing how the buildings were built in such a way that the sound would create frequencies, whether it be the chanting or whatever, the om or...
He was making reference to that they would actually be generators. And they would generate energy.
Take that in theory. Take that in theory and have all these like temples and tombs being the generators for the frequencies. And now imagine these stones on a plane of land, whether it be flat, hilly, whatever, and the frequencies being strong enough to vibrate the earth. So essentially think of the salt particles as stones. And as the earth shimmies and shakes, it moves those stones into those patterns of the sound waves, like the resonance experiment.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool. See, I was thinking more of like...
that's one possibility.
So think about this.
If there's enough...
Like over thousands of years.
Magnetically, the power.
So think about this.
Because they were saying they were in the pattern of the actual energy frequency itself.
Yeah. Let's go a little bit further. So all of these different structures are on what we call like ley lines, right? Which are like segments of the earth that more or less somehow or another have like a magnetic connection to each other, right?
Magneto-electric current.
Right. But Tesla was trying to do his free energy where it was basically like Wi-Fi style energy. Almost like the idea that we were talking about.
Transmit energy through the open air.
Yeah. Kind of like the idea of what they possibly would have been doing in Egypt to, as we talked about, like seeing the blocks into position because you can actually like get them to resonate because there's already an electromagnetic
that was from the dark
field.
Crystal too. Oh.
Well, yeah, dude. But the frequency, that's the thing.
Vibration of the universe.
Yeah, right. Well, so... Totally. What if all of these different structures now on a Wi-Fi based like electrical system because of these generating circuits as they like link up throughout the world? Now all of a sudden, this is why you can explain how all of these different places could have done all of these different things because they were using this energy that's just in the air. These ancient machines that were just...
What was the modern day guy?
And then they were talking about the cones. Sorry, the cones too, how they would like levitate blocks and stones. So I don't know if that has to do with like the magnetizing of any type of energy as well.
Well, what was the name of that guy that basically built like a modern day castle all by himself? And there was all these theories going around that he was basically using two cone-shaped instruments and some kind of frequency modulator of some sort to levitate stones that are like several 100 tons in some cases.
Well, see, that's why I think of like what is it, in Dune where they have like the weirding modules,
right? yeah.
Right. So as they have these different words that they can use, they now have with the modules this ability to like discharge this massive bolt, almost like like a freaking taser in a sense, but.
It was really supposed to be more of a fancy martial art, but they kind of, I think, took some liberties with it.
They weaponized it. Yeah, but it was...
They more Hollywoodified it.
Yeah, studioed.
Hollywoodified.
Yeah, but no, so think about that. So like Hollywood. Now, this kind of helps to explain why all of these different civilizations, in a sense, at that point, at least timing-wise, coming after the supposed... ice ages, as Atlantis would have been destroyed out by the first one in a flood. So you have the people that don't have the technology other than maybe like they got away from it. Like they were able to like, oh no, it's coming, or they were low enough down and they had like their own vessel of some sort, so whether it's like a spaceship or whatever we would want to call it, but they have their technology on that kind of a degree. But because there's no machines or nothing else, because everything got wiped out, there's nothing to repair them or whatever else. So now they have to make these rudimentary components. And the only way that you can do that is by making these massive circuits. But, in doing that, now there's the ability of like, holy crap, well, we can take this energy and it can flow on these lines and we can just use it.
If you have the technology mentally to be able to do it, the knowledge to be able to do it, you don't need a fancy box to put it in. Like you don't need a.
Well, yeah. So, all right. I was talking to you.
Work with what you got. If that's what you got, is you have, I guess, rocks that are high in quartz and iron and.
Well, so I was talking to you about the idea of the Ark of the Covenant, which was supposedly it's a gold box with a wooden insulated box, basically, with another gold box inside with more or less what's been told to us would be the 10 Commandments, or what is it? Would you say it was the
the Holy of Holies?
Yeah, the Holy of Holies. But it more or less would be like stones or stone-like material, so meteorite, somewhat
pieces of a UFO.
Well, no, but maybe it's a piece of one of their ships from the past civilization of Atlantis, right?
And it's got a crazy electrostatic charge.
Well, it has, this technology. I don't know what that technology would be, but, with what we're seeing.
Well, quartz and crystals are known to like hold energy and be able to use them for like healing and stuff in different holistic treatments.
Yeah, as well as like resonate with different frequencies and things of that nature, which is also why they're.
Yeah.
I think they tend to absorb it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a nature's filter.
Sure.
Edward Lee Skalman is the gentleman who built the castle.
There we go. Single-handedly, or whatever.
All right, so yeah. Anyways, go back to that. So, talking about this dude, right? Well, what if you Ark of the Covenant style have this technology or I guess this the only one. Yeah, technology from this civilization. So Atlantis has this. Yes, we call it now. What is it?
It would almost seem like telekinesis. I mean, it would seem like.
Well, what's the freaking the 115? It's the Bob Lazar stuff, like Element 115, right?
Okay, Bob Lazar, you got me. What?
Well, yeah, but Element 115 is like the thing that powers these certain spaceships, right?
Yeah, instead of like uranium or something that we're familiar
right.
with, it was this.
Well, what if that's what we created back then? Like, what if Atlantis or whatever had that knowledge, like they had advanced that much technology and intelligence-wise, that they had found a way to create these things?
Well, and I don't think it's mainstream science, but a lot of scientists out there are willing to accept the idea that maybe thoughts and ideas had been seeded to us throughout the millennia. And that it wasn't necessarily an original idea to come up with some of these things, but it was actually a reverse engineered or recreated something from an alien species, I guess,
Well, yeah, but an alien just meaning not us. So not necessarily extraterrestrial.
Well, I mean,
just not human.
I mean, not if you're referring to terrestrial as being the ground that we walk on. I mean, they're not of this earth.
Well, they could be of this earth.
Well, then they'd be extraterrestrial.
No, they'd be us. They'd be terrestrial beings, just like we are. Because again,
but not of this earth.
What if they going out traveling and then coming back and expecting to be hey, this is just still the Atlantean people. And they've all been waiting this, like 20,000 years to see us and be like, yeah, we went to this galaxy and this and here and da-da-da, and like all these great things. And instead they get us. They're just like, oh.
Instead they come back to like a bunch of slovenly, egotistical, self-centered, narcissistic. Am I? Oh, man. I guess I'm sounding a bit negative, aren't I? I need to drink more.
Well, I mean, you certainly shouldn't drink less right now.
Keep up those vitamins.
Yeah, you need your B vitamins.
I need my B vitamins. Yeah, this is where I get my B vitamins. No, that's
dude. You know how many times I've had conversations with people about B vitamins in beer? This is now like an actual topic.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I've had this discussion with people and they're just like, they start spouting out the fact, well, yeah, because it's yeast based and then, you got, and I'm just like, exactly, bro.
The yeast know what's up. They produce B vitamins.
Because they're.
You be healthy.
Womp, womp, womp. Oh, I should do.
And that's why it's B ear.
Because you get the B here.
Oh my God. It's like a little kid's clubhouse I stumbled upon.
That's what this is, bro.
It's Saturday, bro.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that took me like 2.5 seconds, but
that was slightly delayed. That's hilarious.
You see somebody getting completely S-faced and you're like, oh, what are you celebrating?
It's Saturday, bro.
Wow. That it is.
I don't know.
I mean, not now, but.
I'm not quite sure what amazed me more. Was it the fact that he said it that way? Or was the fact that once I scanned the group of the rest of the bros and they all pretty much just nod, it was like, yeah, that's what it is. Saturday, bro. Like, so this is a unanimous idea. Everybody's on board. This is all in 100%. Saturday, bro. It's getting hammered, man.
More power to you.
That guy was drinking all the beers.
All of them. Every last one.
It's like 2.5 hours.
Are you drinking that? Is that your beer?
This one is. Is this your bush?
Can I finish?
Special ball of this bush?
Can I help you with that?
But no, dude, he seriously, like, he was there for, like, it took him like 2.5 hours to drink them. You know what I mean?
He was a trooper?
Oh, he
Got all his bees.
I think he had a little bit of water here and there in between. Like,
That's how you got to do it.
It was not his first time at the rodeo, apparently. That's why I'm like, dude, this is a thing. I think this was their thing. Whether it was, I don't know if it was like every weekend, but like pretty sure at least like once a month or something, they were all getting together and just like drinking.
Is it just me or is it everybody that does this? That like, there's certain things that happen that like you kind of have to take a moment and you go, okay, I made it through that right now. Like you're hanging out and you're getting pretty S-faced. And then when you stand up is when you actually feel it kind of thing. But I wonder if everybody has this thing where they kind of like size up how they're feeling when they're taking a piss. Because for some reason, getting rid of all that and then the relief. And then when you calm down again, you're going, okay, am I cool? Do I need to splash water on my face? Am I all right? Should I stop drinking now? Should I have another 3? What am I doing? Is it just me? But like, I tend to do that when I go to the bathroom for some reason. I don't know, that moment alone when I get all that out and then I'm like, all right, how am I feeling? Because it seems like if you're in a bad way, it'll drop off right at that point. I don't know if that's just me. I'm putting that out there. I'm just asking. That's what I do.
Please call it now. Operators are standing by.
It's just me. I mean, this is honest. This is real talk. I'm just saying.
I am unfortunately gonna have to not commiserate with you on this. I didn't exhale. No, I didn't.
Hi, I'm Christian Sahug, and
I'm Kristen Sahug.
I didn't really understand the reference there. I was wondering if you could repeat that.
All of a sudden, you're like Bobby Boucher.
I can't do the voice. You created it.
Alligators is so hungry because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
Mom is wrong.
Anyways, before we got like triple tangented, where were we?
We've been right here the whole time.
Somebody help a brother out.
It's been whoa.
That's great. Help a brother out. Where were we? Yeah,
Before vitamin B, we were talking about.
Oh, we went past that.
Vitamin B.
No,
Vitamin B and
Jesus Lord. So I'm gonna go back and re-listen to this
your
episode.
element 115.
Yeah, we got past that too.
the conversation is wherever it's at.
But you
Want me to rewind back?
Where you at?
You button hooked me.
I didn't do nothing. That's my job.
That's bullshit.
No, you got to let it be just what it is.
Man,
It's on your mind, cuz.
Were we talking about the guy building the castle?
I was talking about that.
Dude, this
Moving
is
stuff with the sonic energies and stuff.
you're a sonic energy.
With the focus of these like cone-shaped instruments, handheld cone-shaped, I don't know. Something like
Woody
that.
Madonna.
It was a pine cone reference, third eye, some kind of, I don't know.
Well, that was
Element
another
115.
Dude, whatever it is.
That may or may not have.
No, I'm telling you, I'm gonna listen to that shit, and like as soon as I hear it, I'll be like, yes, son of it, because my brain re-triggers, and it's just as if I was like already right back in that episode, and I remember and I recall, and it's like this is the frame of mind, and this is what I was thinking, and like it's pretty vivid.
Pretty far out stuff.
That's just how I recall stuff. That's like whenever you see me trying to remember something, I start to kind of like paint the picture, and I'm like moving my hands, and like I'm basically like trying to draw it out, and
That doesn't play very well in the microphone, though.
Mm-hmm.
I said it.
True story.
I said I start moving my hands.
I'm moving my hands, and I'm air quotes, and I'm
I'm like literally drawing it out. Like
sitting here with a lasso.
they can picture for themselves
doing,
whatever it is.
You know,
And
doing
when
the
they
Cabbage
see me,
Patch. You know,
I'm a lawnmower you.
you're gonna lawnmower me.
Yeah.
What did that make me, the lawnmower man?
No, that would make you the grass. And I'm gonna mow your ass.
What's up?
The sprinkler.
Sprinkler? Forgot about the sprinkler.
Yeah, dude. Anywho.
Well, I mean, you had me on the shopping cart with the high shelf, low shelf, you know.
That's also close to the bus driver. Pulling over, letting people on.
Well, you
Pulling
got
over,
to
letting people
take the bus to the shopping market, you know.
Yeah, but that's after you're done mowing the lawn.
Right? There's a whole procession here. Or maybe you go to the shopping market before you come back and then you mow the lawn.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Then maybe you go fishing because that's always a good one too.
Oh, Roseanne Bogey for it.
You ever start fishing into the
I
dance
was going to
floor?
say, when do you go fishing?
You ever start fishing into the dance floor? That's always a fun one. Then you do like the hook in the side of the mouth, like.
You have to.
I think I may have videos of this.
Yeah, you didn't paint
That's
the
me.
word picture. You just
That's
said hook in the side of the mouth. It's like same with the sound of makusa.
The hook in the side of the mouth.
Yeah, but on a
when
fishing
you drop
line,
your hat
and
on
it's
the
actually how you get jerked and then reeled in, and you actually do the action of being reeled. And
Speaking of jerk,
what the French call it.
you're such a disease.
So, anyways, all these technologies and stuff, right? So, what if it was from like the Atlanteans?
Hi, Kevin.
I'm Chris's side hub. So what?
He's gonna drink that whole soda and then he's gonna pee the bed.
He said like 6. So, anyways,
Yeah.
Atlanteans technology.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. Is that an LLC?
No, I'm telling
Atlantean
you.
Technologies. I bet that is a company out there somewhere.
Maybe, or Atlantic Tech. Who knows? Probably all of them.
Atlantis. Let's have Atlantis.
Atlantis. Atlantis. But what if?
If we talks and stuff, does that make us linguisticians?
You don't hurt yourself, son.
Linguisticians?
Hey, boss, big boss. But no, seriously, dude, bro, seriously. Seriously, bro. What if?
What if what?
What if? Like, all right,
What if CAT?
No, all right, so here's the deal. Like, so Atlantis gets destroyed, right? All the technologies is gone, except a few components or artifacts or pieces that still kind of work. Which maybe that's what the 10 Commandments or the holiest of the holies or these pieces of rock or molten or something that has these, and the writing would have been closer to like hieroglyphics. Like it would have been characters, not so much just like what we would deem like typical writing of today. Right? So like what if this is just there?
Well, and all these things that are left behind, like are they really all just like charging stations for like some major, what's there? Like they end in either like a body of water or kind of travel all to a central location and then stop. Like as if there's supposed to be something there to receive that energy. These things have all been like created as these. I mean, that's what I was getting from a lot of that. Was
the circuit ground things
we were watching. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
like the amphitheaters were shaped in such a way that they actually reverberated and sent energy down a shaft that went directly back to, like basically the center of town.
Well, yeah.
And normally they were always placed in the same like location towards the structure, except for like a few places.
Yeah, very few. Yeah, they're almost always, and I mean, I guess as well there should be, but is there a reason that they were built that way? And, that's what I found very intriguing about that whole story was, the idea that a lot of these rocks had, whether it was high metal content or high quartz content, that they would actually sing at certain times, with whether it was, I guess there was something to do with, a lot of it had to do with sonar, like, or sound, some kind of vibration. And a lot of it had to do with light. Good vibration?
Yes.
Wasn't he was referencing something. The one guy was referencing something about the shafts within the I guess the biggest pyramid at Giza. Mm-hmm. I don't know, or was it just the one? I don't even know. But like there's shafts that let in light at certain times of day, and like there's other shafts that let in light only during the summer or winter solstice, or and all these things would actually have, if you put all that light on a certain type of crystalline structure or rock, that it would reverberate basically with the sympathetic frequency of the light itself that's hitting it, and could almost turn on certain things or turn them off, or like that it was basically like a giant simple machine, that the pyramids themselves were generators of sorts.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, is like, because all of them, the different structures throughout the world that were connected on these, ley lines, and the idea of like Tesla, he built his one.
It's like a superconductor. It was
it would have been I guess almost like the hub or the
collection tower. I think
the substation, I guess, would be the easiest way to explain it.
It was literally just collecting energy from subterranean.
Well, and it wasn't even so much that it was like collecting, but it was creating the gateway to pull that energy up and out.
Just creating a harmonic, and just creating something that would harmonize with that. I mean, it was basically a giant antenna.
So what if some of these structures, these supposed possible circuits in the ground?
He was talking about building a network of those.
Well, right. Well, what if that's what these different places were? What if somehow a lot of these were all actually intertwined in that sense that they were on that line of something that maybe we don't even see, but yet these people who had this technology 130,000 years ago or even 100,000 years ago.
I mean, and I don't know, look into it, but I'm pretty sure that like when you talk about like major religious centers, major, you know, even not just churches, but even in some cases, probably sports arenas, that there are energetic centers of ley lines, of actual cross positions and major, like because there's a, just like the equator, there's a major ley line that what's this? Like a prime ley line.
Right. Like the main,
like almost like equator has like, you know, a prime meridian. This is like, and you'll find dotting right along where that line passes through, like all kinds of all your major churches. It passes right through those. Like at all these a lot of them are intersections. Very specific intersections of ley lines, which is like super uber powerful because you're not only getting it from 2 directions, but 4. Like a cross.
What if some of these crop circles were like circuit pieces and we're supposed to be building them so that we can like reactivate some of these machines?
Well, I mean,
how cool would that be?
If you believe the concept that, and I don't think, me personally, I think about 95% of that stuff out there is complete bunk, but I think some of it is true. But I would say if you can buy any part of that, stop looking at me like that. It's very distracting. If you could buy any part of that, you're just we're not allowed to get serious. That's what happened. You derailed me now.
How's it feel?
It feels fine. I'm ready to go.
We were talking about the ley lines, and then what if the crop circles were being, if they were remember in the movie The Explorers?
If you believe any part of that, I think is where I stopped, is that if you believe any part of that, then I would say that's more like that's got to be an encrypted message of some sort, whether it be a diagram of something that you're supposed to build, or whether it be the thing itself that you know it's maybe a picture of an energy current or a computer chip. You know, what that was the Explorers reference, right? That they all had a dream of a computer chip, and they made the chip, and that's what made their spacecraft.
Well, it made it capable for them to have that force field.
It's a message that's been sent, but only those who are smart enough to know how to read it. That would be my guess, that it looks like some kind of communication, and that's the what I would believe the 5% of those kind of cases that have actually are true, like they actually happened. Not like some farmer found a way to flatten his crop without leaving footprints, kind of thing.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I like the idea that like aliens are our lost civilization of Atlantis possibly being somewhat destroyed, but those of us who were doing space exploration at that point from that civilization.
We were close enough to an annihilation event that maybe a handful of people left.
Right.
On an exploratory mission, thinking that this was done and this was our last ditch effort. But if we don't get out now, you know, so maybe they left prematurely and things kind of leveled out enough that we repopulated, whatever it is, you know. But it does seem to me like there's got to be so much more out there than what we're told, or that what we've quote unquote discovered and what's in the textbooks, because I don't know. I can't let go of that whole idea that there's some lost technology out there.
Stop touching.
You know, that's some ancient technology that went well beyond went well beyond all the stuff that we can do with circuitry. They could do with crystals. They could do with rocks.
Well, think about fiber optics and shit like that. Information being transmitted through light in a cable. The material's
the same as fiber optics, just because we fancy it up and make it look nice.
Don't be trying to church it up in here, boy.
Make it in a thin cable. Like they were doing that with, you know, whole megalithic rocks.
Yeah.
Placing them in, you know, specific angles to each other and shapes. And what was it? The structures themselves were actually mimicking the shape. If you could see visually the shape as it outlines the ground of the magneto-electric current that comes out of it or whatever.
Isn't that the Tesla shit?
What is what?
Isn't that what, like, his power's coming out of that same, basically like that same line of Earth?
Well, what he did was I guess in a way similar to if the movie that, so we're all referencing this one movie, and what was it called?
What was that?
I can't remember, but the video that you sent the two of us to watch.
It was this one particular was
What, the one about the circuits?
Michael
or 'cause there's-
Tellinger's The Ancient Circuit Boards and Energy.
Yeah, because there was also the one about, I think there was the new, did I send the one about the New Englander that was like
Yeah, the stonemason.
I must have missed that one.
I'll look up the
yeah, I
exact
figured you would
title.
like that because of the accent.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he sounds normal, and then I realized why, like halfway through.
Yeah, but I think he kind of like, I feel like he says a little bit more of like on the same side as Eric Von Daniken as opposed to Graham Hancock. Because like, this is what cracks me up. Because like you said, there wasn't a correlation between the two other than the fact of they both pull from that Egypt talks about, or in Egypt, they have the story of when the last civilization, or what they would believe to be Atlantis, which would be the most advanced civilization that we would have ever possibly
Atlantis
known.
is just one reference, though.
Well, because it's not a place, it's a civilization.
I mean, Mesopotamia and very, very old cultures knew all kinds of stuff that it took thousands of years for us to figure out.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. So, all right, so there's this civilization that's been around for, say, 50, 60, 70, 100,000 years, and then gets completely obliterated. Like, just obliterated, gets destroyed.
It's just gone.
Chris side hug. And it's literally wiped out. All gone, no moss. Everything is destroyed because it's been put under, 40 freaking feet of ice, glacier, rocking through, flooding everything. Right? Just upturns all of the soil, just destroys it all. But there's a few people that get away, a little bit of technology, and then they like start to redisperse throughout like the world. So I mean, if like that's, how do I want to put it? If that was the technologies of that time, given that amount of space, then us in that same structure of, all right, so it was 11,600 years, as I was saying. And so the story coming out of Egypt is that it was like 9,000 years ago, which would have been the, at that point, somewhere around the whole like Ark of the Covenant and stuff. So that's like 1,000 BC and whatnot, right? So you're talking about with current time, 2,000 years plus the 500 to 1,000 for BC of when, the story comes out of, hey, this is what it is 9,000 years ago. Even Plato talks about it. So, we got Plato talking about it. We got Egypt talking about it, all coinciding. And this is the same thing. So whether you're believing all in the idea of like Graham Hancock or Eric Von Daniken, then it's like, to me, the whole thing together is what makes the most sense. Because they kind of both point onto the same timelines. Is it
Daniken?
Daniken?
Daniken.
Daniken?
Daniken.
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 Are you a Dominican or Dominican?
I think you was shortening it.
I don't know, man.
Von Daniken.
Yeah, DANINICIKIY.
Eric.
Can I buy a vowel? MOUSE.
Eric Von Daniken.
So the three videos that we've been referencing were all found on YouTube, and the first one was Ancient Circuit Boards and Energy Generating Grids, Hidden Origins with Michael Tellinger. The second one was the Eric Von Daniken, The Ancient War in Heaven and the Arrival of Extraterrestrial Gods. And then the third one, which was the guy with the New England accent, is the strange ancient sites and the Edgar Case writing. A stonemason goes on a hunt.
Yeah, that was the guy with the accent. Was that one, I think.
And then there's the amazing Renaissance experiment.
Most of what I've been referencing,
we were talking about at the beginning.
I think it's from the first one you'd sent us. Because that one was there was a lot of material. It was like 2 hours something long, wasn't it? Or almost 2 hours long?
Hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Minute and a half.
It was a full-on movie length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them were pretty much like in the hour and a half marker, like hour 20 minutes.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, but the other one was definitely...
Von Daniken, I didn't get into as much of that. And I've heard him talk before, and I'm just not impressed. But, I don't know, that's just me.
But see...
I found certain things intriguing.
Yeah.
To me, it's getting... Because it's a simple idea of just translation.
So much of it to me just seems like he's got a really active imagination. And it's like, not that it might not be true, but it just seems like a lot of it's speculation.
All right, so if we apply, like I was talking about, Ark of the Covenant style technologies, which would, as we would call it, alien, but what if it's not alien? What if it's Atlantean? Right? What if it's just them from so long ago? And again, yeah, they went out, leaving the planet like, oh crap, like, it's going to be uninhabitable for how long? Let's just go find another spot for a while and we'll just come back or whatever. So maybe aliens are just us coming back. So what if it's not alien? What if it's Atlantean? And we want to sit here and be all uppity about it and whatever, but it's like, it's this lost civilization's technology that still exists because it's out in space coming back as these aliens at this point. Because maybe some of the because some of the first smaller ships could have been like the
Von Daniken.
Yeah, but
yeah, in he talks about the ship going into the water and coming out with two ships.
Right. Well, so that's the thing though, is so now if it's like, what if these are like the smaller vessels as they're all coming back? So now we're getting like these bigger motherships that actually are like the giant cities as they float through space. That's what's like housing.
That was the reference he was talking about. There was some kind of...
because there were stories about it. Freaking with, who was the one guy? Because he told a lot of stories of...
No, but that was a reference to like Eastern religion, Eastern mythology, Eastern Hindu...
Are you talking about the sighting story?
The cities in the sky, the floating cities, was Hindu, I believe. I think that's a Hindu belief.
Well, regardless of... no, he was telling stories of all sorts of stuff, like coming out of...
Oh, in parts of the Bible, too, it talks about the machine coming down with the wheels and stuff.
Oh, that was the
Hebrew text, the Christian text.
Wasn't that some of this
Egyptian
stuff with the Enoch stuff? That was...
Yeah.
Well, this is in the video of him with the war in heaven or whatever. But so the thing that I really enjoy about the idea of what he does, Eric Vaughn, is because it's just modifying the translation of those few words, as we talked about earlier, literally paints a completely different believable picture because putting it the other way, we make it into these mythical high power beings, which we all know the idea that science that looks seamless and completely impossible comes across as magic, right? I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but
what was that quote?
That's why I said I butchered the crap out of it. But that's, basically what it's saying is like anything that would be standard technology, like a lighter back in the Middle Ages would look like magic to those people. They're like, how do you just have fire in your hand?
He's a witch.
I don't burn him. It's like,
Can I use the lighter? No.
So it's all in.
Well, do you reference a certain part, like when they were talking about the measurements of the spaceship? I think that was found in Ezekiel. And then they were referencing other parts in like Abraham, where he's talking about wanting to fall down to earth.
Well, Ezekiel was the UFO sighting thing. Because I remember reading that as a kid going, what's going on right here? This is, that's what you put down this book and you're like, really? Everybody's expected to read this? I'm like, this is crazy talk.
In Enoch and Moses is where it talks about like the intercourse between the extraterrestrials or the other beings in mixed with humans.
Hybrids.
There was a whole lot of stuff going on in Enoch, like where he
Real freaky naughty.
like he went up in the giant spaceship and went traveling around and saw all kinds of sights and what?
Explain it to him.
Well,
Yeah, but no.
I think maybe we should take a break.
But no, but dude, so fine, whatever.
What?
Because I can keep talking about this forever, dude. This is ridiculous. Because
Well, we can come back to it. Put a pin in it.
that's what I'm saying. Like all these ideas coming together of that possibility, to me, it just makes that much more sense. Because I've always said, like, I feel like the aliens would be an alternate version of us, basically. Well, what if it's just the Atlanteans?
Well, what do you mean by I mean, what if it's you're talking this is so advanced it's not even recognizable as you? So how would you even know?
Well, so I always put it. I
what
always
is you and what is not you? When you were everything, right?
So what I was thinking was,
aren't you a piece in a mirror of your universe?
You asked a question. I'm trying to answer it. So here's the deal: is I was always thinking that us as the aliens was more of us from a future timeline being able to finally understand like black holes or whatever it is, or, you know, tear that piece through the fabric of time or something, you know?
Well, remember I was saying the other day too, making that telepathic connection with your past self.
Right,
how
right.
weird that could be. It's like almost like you tapping yourself on the shoulder.
Well, so anyways, it was, my idea was that the aliens would have been us in the future, but coming from the alternate timeline. What's the movie? I think it's Event Horizon.
Oh God, that's creepy.
Or no, the Sphere, the one that's where they're underground and they find the sphere, the big orb, and they like.
Did I see that?
Yeah, it's. I'm pretty sure that's like Samuel Jackson and. Oh man. Oh, there's. Yeah, but you look this up. I think it's the Sphere or something like that. But, anyways, yeah. Well, what's his? Oh God, I can picture his. Liv Shriver or whatever. What's that?
Liv Tyler?
No, not Liv.
Who?
The dude.
What?
He was in the movie Goon.
The guy.
Yeah, Liv.
the dude, the guy.
No, Liv. Liv.
Liv.
Pretty sure it's Liv Shriver. I think that's. Anyways,
Okay.
So the idea is that the aliens were basically like us, but from in the future, and found a way to like, you know, in the movie it was like accidental tear through time, and they just went back in, you know, time or whatever. But you know, I was saying it was more of like us in the future checking up on us to make sure we're on the right timeline to like keep ourselves in check or do better or whatever, you know, kind of like bump us a little bit. So it's just us trying to perfect us. But
I would correct on the movie and the actor's name.
So it is Liv Shriver and it is the Sphere
with Samuel L. Jackson in the Sphere. Yep.
Yeah, and there was one more person. One of the, I don't know, I can't see us too small. That's what she said.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman, that's the guy. Yeah, Hoffman. But anyway, so I'm now more prone to think that the time variance on what that would be is the Atlanteans having left the planet because they had that technology. And, you know, so while they say it's not of this earth, well, all right, cool. Maybe we mined it from somewhere else and then did element 115 or something like that. Or maybe we really did create that, but it would have been the Atlanteans that did it.
We're going to start right back there when we come back, though.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be of the earth.
Right
they
now,
would be of the sea.
The B sides need to take a break so we can get to the A side.
Well, no, we got to take a break and come back and do what I'm telling you.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, but I say it better.
I called it the A side.
You dirty rat.
So, your host.
Yo, what's the difference between a light bulb and a pregnant woman? You can unscrew a light bulb.
You happy now?
Bump. Yeah, I want to leave on a positive note. We've had a very serious discussion.
Dad joke. That's different.
we were having a very serious discussion. I feel like we got heated a little bit. I just wanted to bring the room down a little. You know, I just wanted to.
You're always trying to bring the room down. I don't know why you want to do that.
Sorry, what?
But it's been real.
Oh, Papa.
Okay.
Oh, that was myself.
No one was looking.
Know when to love. Go. Go, sell it.
Don't you never to interrupt me when I'm cleaning.
Has anyone seen the vacuum?
All right, it's time for a break.
This has been the B-Sides in the Green Room.
With your hosts,
Christian Sidehug. Yeah, it's Philly D. I think I broke him. Mr. Gemini. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Okay. You get your shit together. Shut your mouth when you talk to me. So Philly D, that guy, that jackass is Mr. Gemini.
Mr. Gemini.
Mr.
JD.
Mr. Vega. And Miss JD.
Oh, it hurts.
Fact check rug stored in there, clickety clacker. Yeah, this is B-Sides in the Green Room. Be good to yourself, be good to everyone else, man. Peace.
Peace.